Are you exhausted? I mean, really exhausted. Tired of chasing this elusive dream of work-life balance, but still feeling like you're constantly falling short. You're always one step behind, with never enough time for everything that's important to you. You're not alone. I've been there too, and I know how frustrating it is. It can feel like you're on a hamster wheel, constantly spinning and never quite getting anywhere. This frantic, non-stop life becomes the norm, and we keep pushing forward, even though our inner voice keeps telling us, enough, stop, please make this stop. We're told that balance is the ultimate goal, that if we just find the perfect formula, we'll finally be able to juggle all the different parts of our life with ease and grace. But what if I told you that this balance is a myth, that it's a goal that's almost impossible to achieve, and that striving for it is actually making us more stressed and less fulfilled, that it's not the solution we are looking for? Just think about it. How often have you had a day that felt perfectly balanced, where everything you wanted to achieve was aligned and felt effortless? How often are you having those moments where you feel like you are living a life of calm, peace, and joy? Probably not that often. And the reason is because the whole concept is based on a false premise that all the parts of our lives can be balanced and separated and have a rigid structure. That just somehow, if we just find the right combination of activities, we can do it all and experience inner peace. The problem is, that's not the reality. That's myth. This is also based on a thought that everything can be separate and that they should be split into different compartments. And we try to give each of those compartments the same energy and try to make time for all of it. But that is simply not possible. It is exhausting to maintain two or more separate lives that are trying to demand our attention. And it puts an undue amount of stress on our resources. The truth is, the idea of balance sets us up for this false dichotomy where we try to separate our work from our lives, and then we have to try to create some kind of equal share of time for both, as if those two things are in the constant battle with each other. But that's just not how life works. Life is a messy, dynamic, and unpredictable. And that rigid approach of trying to balance can make us feel like we are always failing, because the world around us will always get in the way and throw our meticulously laid plans out of the window. And this creates this terrible feeling that we are not good enough, that we are not doing enough, and that we are constantly letting ourselves down. And this is frankly quite exhausting, because you are trying to maintain two different worlds, and that takes a massive amount of energy. When I listen to people, I often hear them feeling so utterly exhausted and like they can't keep doing what they are doing because they are just running on empty. And that is what this video is really about. How can we start living our lives with sense of joy and purpose instead of constant exhaustion? So, what's the alternative? It's integration. It's understanding that our lives are not a series of separate compartments, but rather they are all interconnected. And the key is not to try to balance them, but to find a way to blend them into a cohesive whole where all of the parts of our life and our work are aligned. It is about moving away from thinking our life and work as separate entities that have to be in a constant battle for our limited energy and attention, to start understanding them as parts of a whole, a single life. You are the same person whether you are at work or at home, and it is exhausting to pretend you are two different people. Integration is about creating a life where your work feeds into your personal life and where your personal life energizes your work life. And this isn't about doing less, it's about doing things that are more meaningful. It means focusing on impact over a long list of to-dos. It's about focusing on purpose over deadlines. In my experience, people who feel a sense of true integration, they tend to find meaning in their work, and they find joy in their personal life. Their focus is less about ticking off a list and more about being present with what they are doing and what it is actually serving them and those around them. This approach helps you to find natural flow and a sense of purpose and passion, which is a powerful source of energy, unlike the feeling of constant exhaustion that comes with the rigid approach of balance. This approach means that you are more present, more focused, and you have more energy. And all that comes from choosing to move away from a world where you are trying to achieve a separation of your life, and a world where you are trying to blend the aspects of your life into one. You are then bringing that same energy and excitement to all the aspects of your life and making that all parts of your life work with each other, not against each other. Just think about it. How much of your life is driven by what you have to do versus what you want to do? How often are you doing things to check a box, to please others, or to live up to some societal expectation? And when we are doing something that feels like it's driven by shoulds, there is an inherent sense of resistance, and we are working against our natural energy instead of with it. When you are constantly giving away your time, energy, and attention without acknowledging your own needs and desires, you are not living a life that's meaningful to you. You are not living an integrated life, but a life of two different parts that are constantly pulling you in different directions. I think most of us get into this habit from a young age. We want to please, we want to achieve, we want to be accepted. And slowly, without even realizing it, we are living a life that is not aligned with our deepest values. Because it's a habit, it's a program that runs in the background, and it makes it feel like it's normal, even if it's not. And the result? Well, we feel exhausted and unfulfilled most of the time. I know from my own experience that when we live with such a powerful connection to who we are and what we love, the lines between work and life become blurred, but in a really beautiful way. I used to think that I had to strictly separate my work from my personal life until I decided to align my work with my purpose and values. And that's what I really love. It allows me to do what I love every day, whether it's creating content like this, working with my clients, or being with my family. It all feels connected as a single piece of life and not two different things fighting for my attention. And that this beauty of integration brightens my day every day, because now my family life helps me with my work, and my work helps me feel connected to my family and myself. When you see your life as an interconnected web, you are no longer in the same battle with time. You are no longer running on empty, and you are no longer living a life that feels fragmented and chaotic, but rather it feels coherent and whole. So how do we achieve this integration? Where do we even start? Well, it's a process, not a destination. And it begins with understanding what you truly value in your life. It's about getting clarity on the core drivers that guide you and how you can incorporate these into your work and personal life. This will give you a strong foundation to build and to see what really matters to you. Because if we don't know what really matters, then what are we actually working towards? What I teach is that it all starts with knowing your values. And once you know your values, you then can start to build a life that's aligned with them. And you can start to understand the difference between the activities that are draining you and those that are fulfilling you. What are your most precious resources? Where do you want to invest your time, money, and attention? Because only when you have these answers, you can start to create a life that's aligned with your unique identity, rather than simply following the path that somebody else has set out for you. And once you've clarified those core values, you can start to build new routines and habits that support them. This can be things as simple as taking a walk during your lunch break to reconnect with nature and yourself, or structuring your workday so you have more time to spend with your family. Or maybe it's about making the right choices on what you want to eat so that you feel energized to meet your day. Or perhaps it's simply about structuring your day in a way that supports your personal values and goals. It's about making conscious choices that align your actions with your beliefs. And I know that this is very easy to say, but so difficult to do. Because as we have already discussed, we have a lifetime of routines, patterns, and habits that we are often not aligned with, and they are running like this automated program. And therefore, it's all about taking the time to notice what it is driving your behavior and choosing to respond differently. So, if you're ready to stop chasing the myth of balance and start creating a life that is truly integrated, where you are showing up fully in every aspect of your life, then I encourage you to take the first step. I've created a free guide that will help you clarify your core values and start building a more integrated life right now. This guide will walk you through a simple process to help you identify what matters to you and how to build your habits that support your energy so you can live more purposefully. You will find a download link below this video. Download that now and make a conscious choice to step into this journey, to embrace who you are, and to create a life that resonates with your authentic self. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.